Let's see what it does. Let's see here. Yeah, it should show your people up there, hopefully. It says there's one. I think it's me.
You know, I'm like,
I don't even know where my phone's over there. Do I need more?
more. Here. You're not going to be in it.
Well, that's what I was trying to achieve, is that I could still do that.
Just like lean on the counter.
Lean? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to grab my phone in case there's any questions.
Take it off Wi-Fi.
All right, so you can't see me at all?
Here down.
Yeah. What happens if I lift it a little bit? Or is that just going to show cabinets?
That's fine. Go ahead. Because right now it shows an old banana.
I'm going to use it, so that's okay. Maybe? Better? Kind of?
Yeah, from like here.
Okay. So, I don't know if anybody's here yet. So I will just start organizing stuff at least. I don't think it like auto plays over. We got a couple of people. It's exciting. It's exciting. So I'm just kind of waiting for people to show up and setting everything up as we go. Ow. There we go. I'm gonna check real quick over on Facebook, see if it's doing its thing over there.
Do I need to monitor that?
What?
Do I need to monitor that?
No, I couldn't dual stream it, but I just want to make sure that the link
Oh, copy.
went over. Yeah, it looks like it anyway. Okay. Cool. It should be going over on the group as well. Hopefully. Looks like it. Okay. All right. So we'll just kind of go ahead and get started. If we gain more people, I can always start again. So when I have the time/energy, a lot of times I will cook stuff up for my dogs. I still always use a base mix. If I'm only going to be, say, cooking for them for like a day, maybe two, I'll make everything homemade. Like I'll do, I'll cook up like a sweet potato. I'll cook up, meat, some berry, like fruit, veggies, all that sort of stuff. Add some eggshell powder for calcium, but it's not balanced. I'll throw some liver in there. But it's not like 100% balanced. It would be okay for like that, like a day or two. But it's not balanced. If I know that I feel I'm in the mood and I want to cook for an extended period of time, I'll use some sort of base mix. I've been trying out Grandma Lucy's base mix, which is this right here. It's the McCanna base mix. Its main thing is coconut and hemp hearts, which I really, really like. And the dogs seem to really like it. This is actually the first. I've used McCanna, their completed, their complete and balanced one that has protein added to it. This has no protein added to it. You add your own protein to it. So this is what they call their base mix. So I have McCanna. They have a base mix in their Pureformance line and also a base mix in their Artisan line as well. Excuse me. And this is, like I said, the first time I've really tried their base mixes. I went ahead and just ordered a couple of small bags. I have this McCanna, and then I ordered a small bag of their Artisan base mix. And what the purpose of a base mix is that it has basically, at least for Grandma Lucy's, it has everything that their Complete and Balanced line does. just without the protein, without the meat. So like in the McCanna line, they've got beef and salmon. Oh, and turkey, I believe, are there 3 like proteins you can get for a complete and balanced one. And then you can, get this base mix. So the big thing here is adding, the protein that is needed. Do we have sound and everything?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Is adding the protein that is needed to make this complete, right? So for this base mix for my dogs, 40 pounds, it says they need about, depending on their activity level, about a cup to a cup and a quarter of the base mix dry per day. And then I lost my place. And then about a cup to a cup and a three-quarter? Yeah, three-quarter of meat per day. And again, this is all based on activity level, but it helps make it complete and balanced, right? Now, the thing with base mixes is, and it's why I don't feed them 100% of the time, that's why I don't rely on them 100% of the time, is because the nutrient profiles change depending on the protein that you're using, right? And so my biggest gripe with base mixes, whether it's Honest Kitchen, McCanna, I think Sojo's has a base mix as well. Dr. Harvey's, those are all base mixes that you add proteins to. My biggest gripe is that if I only feed white meat chicken, that nutrient profile is going to be different than including, dark meat chicken or including, beef or fish. There's going to be things missing, and I don't think a base mix quite accounts for all that. I think I look at a base mix as kind of like a way to help keep things complete and balanced, but I don't rely on them as 100% of my dog's diet. Like what I'm doing right now, I cooked up a bunch of chicken, white and dark meat. I got a couple of beef roasts that were on sale. I have a bunch of like sardines and mackerel and stuff like that. And I will probably cook for these guys. Well, I've already cooked everything. It's just in containers in the fridge. I will probably do this with these guys for maybe like the next week or so. And then I will go back to one of their complete and balanced, which what I have right now is their new 3 Bears, which is an oat-based formula that I really, 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 really like. And I'll go back to feeding a complete and balanced. So I look at the base mix as something, one, I like to offer variety to my dogs. I like to offer, excuse me, different flavors, different textures, all that sort of stuff, keep things interesting, and give them different things, right? I enjoy doing that, and so I will use these base mixes as just a different, something different to do. Even with the complete and balanced, I almost always, unless I'm in an extreme hurry or we're traveling or I just don't have the I almost always add some sort of something to the complete and balanced, right? Whether it's I add eggs to it or sardines or some fresh, like a banana, blueberries, some cooked chicken, cooked turkey, beef, whatever it is. I usually try to add something even to the complete and balanced to kind of, one, I want to up the protein level, and 2, just adding fresh food, So I'm going to go ahead and start making it. Now, I use these pet platters. They're called the Mind Pet Platters. This is Nargles, Wally, Trip, Allie. What?
You can't see Allie.
Oh, you can't see Allie? Oh,
Nope.
That's sad. Their Allie's down here. So what I do is, first of all, I know how much dry I need to put in this bowl and about how much of the base mix each dog gets, because I've already measured it out dry and then I measured it out wet, like in singles. But I mix everything in a bowl. It makes everything a little bit easier because you can't really mix on the platter. And what I was doing was like each dog had their platter and then each dog had their bowl, and it was just a lot. So I mix everything in this one bowl, and I just know how much, because I've already measured it out previously, how much dry to put in and then how much each dog wet gets, right? So you want to get this base mix. I'm going to get the hot water going. In my mix, I like to add, or what I'm currently feeding right now, is the Clear Conscious Pet Super Gravy. I have their cheese one right now. The one I really, really like, and I do 2 scoops of this. The one I really, really like is their bone broth. I will probably order that. I'll probably order a big order of that. It's a dehydrated bone broth. It's got turmeric in it, a lot of digestive stuff. I really, really like it. I'll probably be ordering another big one. This is Grandma Lucy's. They're pumpkin pouches. This is the inflammation one. It's got pumpkin in it, and then it also has turmeric in it. So I've already measured all this stuff out. I measure out some of that to add into there. And those 2 things I like to add in because they need to rehydrate. And the turmeric powder gets all over your hands. But they need to rehydrate, so I want to put them in that bowl. So then I add in water. And again, I've gotten to a point where I can eyeball it and know how much water I need to add into this bowl. And you want to stir it up.
What brand was the bone broth?
Oh, the bone broth. Here, let me go get the other bag of it. So this company has actually a few different things. I don't have a bag of the bone broth because I used it all because it was awesome. Clear Conscious Pet is the name. I don't know how well can they. Let me see, kind of sort of.
Not really.
Yeah. But they make different things. So these are their super gravies. So like this one is beef flavored, right? But the thing of it is it has a bunch of really cool ingredients in it. Really good. There's probiotics, prebiotics in here. Bunch of dried veggies. I like their super gravies, but what I really like from them is if you go to their website and look, and I can link the website in the comments once I get done here. Go to their website and take a look. They have one that's called it's a bone broth mix, and it's dried. Like these are all just dried powder. Can we see that kind of sort of?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a dried powder. It comes with a scoop, and I rehydrate it with water. You can also, like if I'm feeding Kibble, which I do sometimes, I will get one of my mason jars, right? So I'll get a big mason jar like this, and they have directions on the back. You can mix it in any kind of jar, but mix it in like a mason jar or whatever. Put a lid on it, put it in the fridge, and I just use it to pour over a Kibble and rehydrate. Or if you add water to your Kibble already, you can just put a scoop in the Kibble. But Clear Conscious Pet is the name of the company. I really, really like them. And like I said, I like their super gravies. I think they're really good. Obviously, as you can see them. But I like the bone broth the absolute best. And like I said, I ordered a bag of that size to kind of mess with it and test it out. But I will probably order their huge size and get that. Okay. So this turns into this. Well, at least that's what the Mechana turns into. More?
Give it up more. There you go.
That's about as far as I can go before it's flying out. And I will let it sit here while I prep everything else and let it rehydrate with the broth and all that sort of stuff. And I will sit here and let it rehydrate. One other thing with that Clear Conscious Pet, I'm going to put this over here. This is what got Nargles through when she was really sick and didn't want to eat. I used this one, which is their cheese one, or their Alfredo. And then they have their super gravy, what is it? Brown gravy and broth. I use these 2 things to help her get to eat. So if you have a dog that's a picky eater or an old dog that maybe isn't as wanting to eat as much anymore, I really recommend those. I recommend the bone broth the most. So while that sits, I gotta rinse my spoon. So while that sits, I start adding the supplements that don't need to be mixed into the food. So I use Cocoa Therapies, coconut oil. I met these ladies at Super Zoo. They're really awesome. I like their company. I like what they do. Very trustworthy. And I just get a little scoop and just throw it on their plate. So everybody gets like this little dollop of coconut oil.
Rena says, while you're stirring, massage clinic reminder.
Oh, God. Oh no. Serena's like, good Lord. And then this morning, I either give I give cottage cheese. None of my dogs have a dairy issue, so they always get some sort of dairy. If your dog has a dairy issue, then you obviously don't want to give this. But my dogs don't. They seem to do really well on it. Wally is in love with all things cottage cheese. And this is also, for those who just watch me dip out all that coconut oil and stick the same spoon into this thing, this is the dog's cottage cheese. So we don't, just so you know. I have this one sad banana that we're going to throw in there. I use bananas a lot during competition. Now, not only for the dogs, but for myself. They have tons of potassium, and they're really, really good for your dogs competing if your dogs get sore, or yourself. Like during trials, I try very hard to eat a banana like every single day of the trial, and then before and after the trial. I didn't start that. That's okay, bummer. Hang on. Here we go. So what I didn't start was I was gonna fry up an egg for these guys this morning, but maybe we'll just do a raw. Do they want fried eggs or raw eggs this morning? You don't care?
Just raw.
Just a raw egg. So sometimes I'll fry up an egg when I'm feeling really bougie with them, and I fry it up in this, which is a sunflower and coconut oil mix, or I just take a scoop of that cocoa therapy and fry it up, or you just fry it up in whatever you want. But sometimes, like I do, again, it's back to that whole, like, if I'm feeling in the mood, they get a fried egg or they get a raw egg. For those who worry about the biotin, that's a kind of an old wives' tale that runs around, that if you feed raw eggs or you feed too many, it binds the biotin. It does, but you would have to feed, I don't remember the number, but it's an obscene amount of eggs a day. Like it's like, we're talking obscene, like well over 20 eggs a day to your one dog to get to that point. I fed raw eggs to my dogs and cooked eggs to my dogs for years with their food. So this is like cooked up roast. I have right there. So with the Grandma Lucy's, again, I've eyeballed most of this. This is my little half a cup. They need, over the whole day, a cup to a cup and 3/4 of meat. I kind of eyeball this. This is a half a cup. I want Nargles, because I'm also going to feed chicken. So I'm going to give Nargles like about that much meat. Wally, because I'm going to add chicken to this, and they get an egg. All right, so we're just kind of scooping out a little bit of roast. And I'm going to say this, I probably should say it again at the end of the thing. I am not a nutritionist. I am not, hi, Walter. I'm not certified in any of this. This is just what I do for my dogs, right? Do you need a piece of chicken? Are you wasting away, buddy? Okay. Walter's wasting away. He needs chickens. There you go. Okay, so this is a mix of chicken breast and chicken thighs that I cooked up. So again, I'm just getting like there's little Nargles. There's her little scoop. Wally, his little scoop. All right. And you still starving? There's Trip. And whoops. Oh Lord. And there's Gator. All right, so for their protein, they're getting a mix of, oh my gosh, of dark meat and white meat chicken, a little bit of beef roast, and then we're also going to give an egg. Turn this around and move that, because this is just going to end poorly, I can tell. And we got to slowly get the garbage can out. Okay, so I'm going to pour their mix in here because I put the egg kind of in the mix. The one thing with these platters, the dogs get to chase in the raw egg and they run it right off the platter. So I've learned you pour some of this mix and you make a little well in it. So as far as how much they get, like Nargles, the box or the bag says they need a cup to a cup and a quarter a day. So you're looking at them getting about a half a cup for this meal because I'm going to feed them tonight, right? And this stuff expands. And like I said, like I kind of know how much they need to get. I just kind of eyeball it through. And this is why I don't feed this like long term, is because, you know, I want to make sure things are balanced. So I like to go back to a balanced food, right? So there's our mix. So this is Macana with a little bit of the Grandma Lucy's inflammation powder, and then some of the Clear Conscience gravy. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to move this out of my way. I have some Vital Essentials, some of their little tripe nuggies, because they were on sale.
Wait.
What?
Do you add any extra collagen proteins?
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I add some tripe nuggies, like that much. See how precise I am? We just add them for like some crunchies. And tripe is super good for your dog.
How many?
Oh, sorry. My cameraman says I'm not doing a good job here. He's the moderator / cameraman. Rena, aren't you in a trial? Now that I think about that?
Maybe.
I'm like, wait, it's Sunday. Aren't you at Lindsay's?
Maybe not.
So Vital Essentials, these are the beef tripe. They're freeze-dried tripe. If you have to, I mean, I hate the smell of tripe. It makes me gag. I can't do it. I ain't going to do it. But these little freeze-dried guys, unless you like stick your head in the bag and snort it. She is. You know, they don't smell bad. Like they don't reek sitting here. So I don't mind these. They were on sale. Watch, if you go to the Vital Essentials website, watch their website.
She's between runs.
Between runs. And they have sales. Like I think right now they're having a 25% off sale. Don't quote me. I don't know for sure, but I think they are. So I like, and they're actually not a bad size for like, I use them sometimes for like high reward treat, you know, like I use the Grandma Lucy's, but if they did something really amazing, you can give them, you want this? You can give them a little tripe treat. Okay, so collagen supplements. I'm not currently feeding any collagen supplements. I'm still
collagen proteins. Is that different?
Proteins?
I don't know if that's different.
No, I think.
Do you add any extra collagen proteins?
No, I think that's the same thing with it. Ew. I haven't, only because I haven't found one that I like super duper like, you know? Like I'm still trying to like go through it and find one, and it hasn't been high on my list. Not because it's a bad thing. I just honestly haven't like dug down into that rabbit hole yet to, you know, like find it. So as far as collagen stuff that I do feed. I just don't know how like, you know, potent it is. I feed like this, the Open Farms bone broth. The only thing is I've made bone broth before, you know, and it's that jelly, and this stuff is very liquidy. I don't really, you know, I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if that means this is like less collagen-y than like homemade stuff. I don't know. What collagen supplements do you feed? Right? Because then I can go down that. I'm asking, then they can type it.
I know.
Oh, okay. You look concerned. You know, like what do you guys feed? That is something I'd like to include in the dogs' stuff. I just haven't. Same with the Myos. I think that's how you say it.
MYOS.
Is it OS? Myos?
I just saw because Lindsay's an ambassador for it or something. Yeah. I just saw it.
I have a bag of that I just haven't started yet. Like it's unopened sitting in my thing. I need to start it. Nargles was on it. Hey, whoever's doing that stuff. Nargles was on it last year when she had to go through all the prednisone and all that stuff, and I think it made a really big difference. So I bought a bag to put Trip on it and put Allie on it just because they're getting older and that sort of thing. But I haven't. I want to like try it. You know, try it. Like Nargles was on it, but you know, I don't. Anyway, I want to try it with the other dogs. Okay, so now I'm going to add like supplements. So this is Herbsmith's. What?
Rena says Myos. Kim Sheldon says she's Vital Proteins Collagen Peptides. It's for humans. They get a scoop, and I get 2.
Who said that?
Kim Sheldon.
You use this? No, Chris. For the dogs?
Yeah. This is Vital Proteins, Collagen,
Oh.
Peptides. It's for human. They get a scoop and I get 2.
I put this in my coffee every morning. I never thought about putting it in the dog's food.
She says yes.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I literally never thought about that because all the dog supplements that I look at, I'm like, meh. You know, like they just don't do anything for me. And sometimes they have a lot of added stuff that I don't really care for. I never thought I put this in my coffee every morning. That's hilarious. I did not think so. I'm going to start doing that. That's a really good idea. Okay. Anyway,
Rena says she's used that before too.
I'm the last to know. Or I'm just dense. I never thought about it that you could just use. I mean, it's unflavored. Like it. That's why I put it in my coffees because you can't.
Sonia says I'm one of those people. I feed dry dog food with toppers and occasional egg.
Yep. I have nothing against Kibble. There is a bag. If it wasn't a bag, then I didn't have to lug it out here. I have what?
Nothing.
Oh, you're just staring at me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have Kibble. I use Kibble, and I make sure there's always Kibble incorporated in my dog's food because I always want to have the what's the word I'm looking for? The ability that if things happen, I can just put them on Kibble. You know, that if I have to leave on an emergency for some reason, I have to leave my dogs with somebody, I can hand them a bag of Kibble. And I don't have to worry about it. So, like, this is all very, like, bougie. But most of the time, like, when I have it doesn't look like this, right? Like, I'm showing, like, here's, like, all these cool things I can add. But this is not going to happen tonight. They are probably just going to get a complete imbalance thrown on the plate and handed to them, right? Like, this is not an everyday thing. And like I said, I have a bag of Kibble sitting in there. And they get Kibble added with it. A big thing with Kibble, and it was I'm trying to work on a blog post. I'm just really bad at writing. The big thing with Kibble with Wally and with Nargles for them is that when I like to give them just like a little bit, like, I don't know, quarter cup, maybe a half cup, depending on how much other stuff I add, because they both have really bad like hunger pukes. You know, like if they go too long between meals. So like say I feed them dinner at 6 and then something happens in the morning and they don't get breakfast till like this time, they're very likely to have a hunger puke. But the Kibble will stay in their belly much longer. And most people who are against Kibble will say what a terrible thing that is. I'm for it because as long as I give them a little bit of that like Kibble, I know that I can have an extended, between feeding time.
What do you use for Kibble?
Right now, the bag I have in there right now is Open Farm. I like Open Farm as far as like their practices and everything. They seem like a really nice company. As far as like emailing them, they're very transparent, very open. That's one of my big things. Whenever I email dog food, which I actually just emailed a company the other day, and they were a little shitty. And so even though the dog food, I probably shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't curse. Even though the dog food looks nice, I want nothing to do with them because of their response back to me. And not that I need to be treated like gold, but if I'm just asking like, hey, where do you source your protein? And they just want to come back with a snotty, that's proprietary information. You don't need to know that. Trust us. They don't need to tell me. Like Open Farm didn't tell me, but they came back with a very nice, well done response that showed they cared, I guess, or is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. So anyway, I do Open Farm. I like Open Farm. I've fed From. Dogs did really well on From. I really like the new fishy one. I like the new fishy one. Its ingredients are great and it's great, but it also the kibbles are in the shapes of fishes. And so for me personally, fantastic. So Open Farm, From, Nature's Variety / Instinct. They're called both anymore. I think the company is Nature's Variety, but on all the bags it's called Instinct. I'm starving, guys. I really like them. They've been around forever. They were like one of the first dog foods I fed when I like got into trying to do better. You know what I mean? Like as far as like researching food when I got heavy into nutrition. So Instinct is really good. As far as brands I like, I can post what all the different brands, but of course I'm just drawing a blank. I just sit here and be like, To be honest, I'm not against many brands. There is one brand I'm heavily against. One that I have no love for whatsoever. But for the most part, like I have good friends whose dogs have the reason they're alive is because of prenoproplan. You know, like I have nothing. You do what works best for your dog, and I know of one person, it's a good friend of mine, that she fed raw, she fed this, she fed everything under the sun, and what saved her dog was prenoproplan. So
there's the instigator. Rena says, "Do tell."
I don't have any issue telling. It's a long story. You ever want to hear like the whole thing that I can't put on YouTube? We can have a drink and talk. But Nature's Logic, I will never recommend them to anyone anywhere. The company is no bueno. Absolutely not. Their formulas, absolutely not. They have their calcium ratios in their food are terrifying. Like absolutely terrifying. And they have grain free. It sucks because I like their food. Like as far as like their ingredient panel, not a bad food. And I used to feed it. Until I'm like, why do my dogs look and act the way they do? And I deep dived into their labels and was horrified. And then Jimmy had to listen to me when I met them at Super Zoo. And he's still recovering from that. Yeah, no, absolutely not. And they have a raw. I know they have kibble, they have canned, they have raw, and I think I don't follow them anymore, but I think they also come out with like a lightly cooked one. And from what I understand from the gal that I do a lot of food stuff with, it's just as bad as everything else. Anybody says they feed Nature's Logic, I'm like, please, 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 please. You will do better by your dog feeding O'Roy. No. Sorry. So anyway.
Thanks, Rena.
This is Herb Smith's Nutrients. It's just a blend of it's antioxidants, so it's like blueberry, it's all sorts of berry mixtures. There's spinach powder in here, kale powder. Well, we got a little extra. It's like it's a little antioxidant blend. I think it's cute. I like it. I don't know if it's, I really trust Dr. Chris Bassett that makes all the Herb Smith and Simple Food. She's very transparent. I met her. I've done interviews. If you go through my YouTube channel, I have interviews with her. She's super cool, very educated. He can come in. Very educated. And she recommended this for performance dogs just because of antioxidants. So here I am. Okay. And then I feed, this is new from Herb Smith. It's their Pure Krill. It's just more omega-3s. And I believe, I can't say the word that comes. No, that's in the torrent. Never mind. Don't listen to me. It's another antioxidant, but I don't have that one yet. So just ignore me. So Pure Krill, it's just that. It's like, it's ground up fish. And it's just another way to get omega-3s. You want to give as much omega-3 as you can. Most us humans and dogs are all lacking in it. This is Herb Smith's Sound Dog. It is their joint supplement. I gotta put his there. I'll show you why later. Oh my cameraman is disappointed in how I'm doing this. So they're little.
No, yeah, there you go.
They're little, like I don't know. The dogs. Oh no, I broke that one. The dogs love them, whatever flavor it is. Dogs love them. This is Glimmer. It's a skin and coat supplement. It has black sesame seed, anchovy oil, DHA Gold, which is a omega-3, borage oil, evening primrose, and it has krill oil in it. Again, Dr. Bessnet said you should feed that. I'm like, okie dokie. I like I said, I really, really respect and like her, so I tend to, yeah. Again, this is Herb Smith. It doesn't have a package because I took them all out, but this is their probiotic. It's the.
Bye, Rena.
Rena's leaving.
Rena's got to go walk.
Okay, go lock your cars. Let me know how it goes. It's their 40 Flora, so it's a probiotic. So everybody gets one of those. Oh God, I didn't show it. It's just a little pill. This is for Trip. This is his CBD oil. It's Pet Relief. Highly recommend Pet Relief. Again, I met them, talked to them at length. I have a really, really great interview on YouTube with them that I highly suggest everyone go watch and listen to the gal I talked to. Super educational. Beyond that interview I did with her, I learned so much about CBD, hemp, Pet Relief as a company. Highly recommend them. So the reason I leave Trip's little tabs out is because he always eats those tabs first, and I want the CBD to go in first. So I just put the dropper. I don't know. Can they see it?
Mm-hmm.
Not. I just put his CBD right on his little tab. This is the 500 milligram bottle. So he gets that, and then he also gets. He also gets one of these Edibites. I buy different flavors all the time, but it's more CBD. Trip needs a lot. So that's his little Edibite. These ones they're crunchy, but they also have soft ones. And
how many days a week do you feed this?
Like this? Oh Lord.
Sorry.
As far as so with the base mix and adding fresh, I will probably feed like this probably for an entire week. And once I run out of all the meat that I've cooked,
every meal?
Huh?
Like every meal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you just say earlier that you were going to not do this later?
Well, yeah, okay. Good job. So, tonight I might just feed the 3 bears, which is a complete imbalance because I'm lazy. So I usually have more energy and more oomph in the morning. So, yeah, you're probably right. They probably get this in the morning and then the evening a complete imbalance. Once I run out of meat, though, I'll probably go back to the complete imbalance and then I'll get that for a few weeks. But like I said, I always add some sort of fresh on top of their complete imbalance, and they still get all the supplements. And usually they always get some sort of cottage cheese, yogurt, kefir, and sometimes, manners and things like that.
Sony says good joint supplement. I'm assuming she's saying one of the whatever you put out. But then she said, I tried some, and the dog seemed to get upset stomach.
Did you use the powder or the tabs? If you use the Sound Dog, did you use the powder or the tabs? And then real quick, this is from Iceland Pure. They have sardine oil and they also have salmon oil. This one happens to be the sardine oil. I rotate between the sardine oil and the salmon oil. Everybody explain the bottle. Everybody gets a pump in the morning and at night, right? I do feed a lot. I try to feed a lot of omega-3s. So I feed this fish oil, like I said, a pump, and that's for my size dogs. It's going to change if you have a smaller dog, but they get a pump in the morning and a pump at night, salmon or sardine. Like I said, this one is their sardine one. And then they also get that pure krill, and the Glimmer also has omega-3s because most of your dog's diet, unless you're feeding a lot of fish, which I try to feed sardines or mackerel at least twice a week, is very high in omega-6s, right? And I want to feed as many omega-3s as I can to try to bring in more anti-inflammatories. The reason I use Iceland Pure is this bottle. The company is really nice. They do a great job. Their oil is really nice. I had a hell of a time finding a fish oil for my dogs that I didn't get halfway through the bottle and it smelled different, or it smelled fishy or a little rancid, or my dogs just quit eating. I would put the fish oil on and all of them would be like, nope, that tastes funny. This is the only fish oil I can use to the bottom of the bottle. It stays the same, and I really think it's the bottle, which Jimmy would probably know a little bit more, but the bottle itself is aluminum, and then inside they've coated the entire bottle with food-grade resin. So the fish oil,
epoxy resin.
What is it?
Epoxy resin.
Epoxy resin?
Yeah.
So what ends up happening, the old fish oil, I used to use grizzly fish oil, and what Jimmy would say, what seems logical to me, is that the fish oil starts to eat at the bottom, right? Or it's letting,
or the plastic leaches
into
the
And so it would always smell funny, or my dogs who are sensitive would always not want to eat it. The pills were always kind of a hit and miss with my guys. I don't really feed a lot. I can hide this pill in their food. But this is the only salmon or fish oil. Like I said, I rotate between the sardine This is sardine, anchovy oil, and their salmon oil. So they're getting a variety, right? And it's all, from what I understand, talking to the owner of the company and off their website, it's all ethically sourced and all that sort of good stuff. So the fishies are okay.
Well, they're dead.
They're not okay, but they're okay. I don't know. I kind of stumbled into that one.
Sonia says she uses the tabs.
So you might try the powder. If you even want to try it again, you might try the powder. I have had some people say that the tabs, if your dogs have a sensitive stomach, the tabs have like additional ingredients into it to make the tab.
Probably a binder.
Yeah, there's binders, exactly. What was it? Yeah, it's under the inactive. So like that, like if your dogs, I know one of my students, one of the people in the group tried these, and her issue was that her dogs are sensitive to grains. And so the first ingredient is like rice flour, and then there's oat groats, rice bran, flaxseed. So if your dogs have sensitivities to that, then the tabs might not work. You might try the powder, which just has your active. As far as I know, I have to go look. Let me double check that on the Herbsmith website. And then the dextrin and the sorbic acid, I think was something, if I remember correctly, I have to go back to those old emails, was what was upsetting her dog's stomach. Another really good supplement for joint, if you're looking for a joint supplement, I really like good old-fashioned Glycoflex. I rotate into Glycoflex. I'll use these for quite a while, but I will rotate over to Glycoflex and feed that for a few months. Glycoflex is tried and true. Dosaquin is also a really good joint supplement. I really like Canine Power supplements. They have their Total Canine, their Super Fuel, and they have a joint supplement. I had really good luck with their joint supplement. I would almost try the Canine Power joint supplement if your dog's have an upset stomach, because I've had pretty good success with their line of products and not upsetting the dogs. I also really like their Total Canine. I was using that for quite a while, and I kind of rotated off of it. I'll probably rotate back into it again. These just came literally last night, and as you, they're not opened at all. I've never used them. They were on an extremely good sale, so I bought them. It's WinPro is the name of the company. This is a hip and joint. Hang on, I'm trying to get the cat back out. It's a hip and joint supplement. And I also got their recovery supplement. So we'll start with the hip and joint. The hip and joint has their K-Thrive Formula D in it, which is their porcine plasma serum albumin, IG, and IgA. And then it has balanced collagen in it. So I've heard mixed reviews about this. I've heard a lot about using plasma, that it's anti-inflammatory, that it has lots of good studies behind it. I've been curious to try this. As far as a joint supplement, it doesn't have glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, any sort of boswellia. It doesn't have traditional joint supplement. But everything I read on their website, and I'm going to email them today and chat with them if I can, is that is that how I say it? Porcine? I don't know. I want to say porcupine, but I know that ain't right. But I want to say porcupine really bad. He's not paying attention. He's on his phone. So, but supposedly the plasma is extremely anti-inflammatory and supposed to help. So I'm going to try. I will start my dogs on this at some point to see what it is. And then this is their recovery, which has the same thing, that K-Thrive Formula D. And then it has ribose, creatine, and L-glutamine. And it's from what I can that's how I want to ask them some questions about, especially this one. From what I understand is that you use these treats because they're, here I can open it. They're little, little balls. Is that you use it after exercise or after, I would say at the end of a trial day. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, they're a little ball thing. Oblong? I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how to. None of my dogs have Narbles has a lot of mobility, not mobility issues. She gets around just fine, but she does have a lot of joint issues. But she's not lame or hard to get up or anything like that. So I don't. Not sure how I'm going to tell if these work or not. They're pretty expensive, and my dogs would need 2 chews a day, right? And I think don't quote me, but I think this jar that has 60 chews. I think this was $40. I don't remember. I'd have to look. Like I said, they were having a massive half off sale, so I just went ahead and got it. All right, so I think that's everything. I'm not going to add it because I don't want to get my hands gross, and I feel like we've already been live for a really long time. I'm probably taking up a lot of people's time. This is Farmhounds. A lot of times, this is duck skin and turkey skin. I will take a piece of skin and break little pieces and just add little bits. It's fatty, so if your dog is overweight or your dog has any pancreas type issues, you don't want to do this. I like to add it like a texture thing, something a little bit different. I love Farmhounds. They're absolutely fantastic. But I'm not doing it because it does make your hands gross. So we're just going to add our egg. I stir in the powdered supplement, and I stir in everybody else's little tabs. And then I make a well for the egg. Nope. And I don't know why, but I keep all their stuff sorted, so they can eat their favorite stuff first. I don't know. Okay, so then we're going to put an egg into each little well, just like that. There we go. Oh, Lord, I was a little bit aggressive with that one. I do try to feed eggs. My dogs don't have any issues with them. Some dogs do have issues. So you feed too many eggs and they do have issues with them. My dogs don't, so I tend to feed an egg almost every day. Yeah. Also, it's not their day to get it. Tomorrow is, and if I do it today, I'll forget. I do give all my dogs vitamin E, so once a week. This is 200 IU. Each dog gets one of these every week to compensate for the increased omega-3s that I'm adding. You also want to add antioxidant. I would rather add this every day or every other day, liquid version, but they were sold out, so I'm just using these. They're almost gone anyway. Use them till they're gone, and I'll get it where I can actually give a proper dose every day instead of just once a week. And then I probably, just because I now have gotten it out of the fridge, I'll add a little bit of bone broth. Just because now I'm going to add my vital protein stuff. I'm super excited about that. And I just throw that all over, and then ta-da, the dogs eat. I think I literally did everything. Good Lord. So anyway, this is a meal. And it's usually, obviously this took a long time because I'm talking a lot, but it really doesn't take that long. For anybody concerned about the fact that Wally only has 1 banana and everybody else has 2, Wally's not a banana fan. So he only has to have 1 banana. Is he making his way in? He's like, I'm so hungry. I will probably do another one of these at some point, showing a basic lazy meal, which is going to be probably kibble and some grandma Lucy's mixed together, their supplements, and that's it. And show this is I have the mental capacity and the time and the energy to, one, have cooked all this food, right? To cook everything and put it all together and do all this. A lot of times it's just their balanced meal. It's just a complete and balanced thing. And I'm going to be blatantly honest. Sometimes when I get up and I am just I can't, it's just kibble. And it can sometimes just be kibble with bone broth in it, or maybe kibble with a scoop of cottage cheese, and down it goes. During champs, I fed kibble exclusively during NADAC championships. And they got stuff mixed in, so it was kibble, and then I got mixed in with sardines. I mixed in some grandma Lucy's, but they got a lot of kibble during champs because I wanted something for the long days. I wanted something to kind of be there and hold them through. I personally like kibble. I have nothing against it. As long as you pick what works for your dog. I have nothing against raw. I have nothing against home cooked. I firmly believe you do what works best for your dog, and that's the deal. I've done raw. I've done complete spreadsheets, every single vitamin and mineral down to the nth, all formulated. I've done that kind of raw. I've done balance over time. I've done 80-10-10. Raw does not work for me or my dogs. Cooked seems to work better. So that's what I do. Like I said, there's raw eggs and sometimes maybe a raw. No, not even that. I was saying no, not even that. But sorry.
Quickly, what do you think of Honest Kitchen?
Oh,
about Honest Kitchen.
What I think about, I like Honest Kitchen. It's in my rotation. It definitely, it's 100% in my rotation. I will say my dogs prefer, and I, just to be transparent, I am sponsored by Grandma Lucy's, right? But I'm sponsored by them because of how much I love them. I love their food. I have fed their treats and their food for years. I am not sponsored by them and just throwing them out there like, oh, you need to do this. Or like, I believe in their food. I really like it. And so when I say I do feel like my dogs prefer the taste of Grandma Lucy's over Honest Kitchen. I noticed that Wally will start to get bored a lot sooner with Honest Kitchen. He'll stop eating. He is picky. He's whippity. So he gets picky, but he doesn't really stop with the Grandma Lucy's as he does Honest Kitchen. As far as formulation and their food, I personally like Honest Kitchen. I feed their clusters. That's another kibble. I forgot. I feed their clusters a lot. And they are part of my rotation because in my opinion for dog food, I really feel like you need to find at a minimum 2 brands, but 3 is probably where you want to be. Find 3 brands and kind of rotate those brands, right? So like I have Grandma Lucy's and then I'll feed them for a few months. I'll bring in some Open Farm kibble and that gets maybe mixed in with the Grandma Lucy's or only Open Farm for a while, Honest Kitchen for a while you want to, because the formulation of dog food, every brand is a little bit different. If your brand is lacking in something and you're only feeding that brand, then that's going to develop over time. So I do firmly believe in finding a couple of brands you like and rotate.
She says she's looking for a new kibble.
Looking for a new kibble?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And kibble's hard right now. Sourcing issues are really hard. Prices are going up for everything. I mean, in Honest Kitchen, if you're trying to find Honest Kitchen, if you can wait, because they are pretty much sold out of everything. I check their website almost daily for friends. To try to score when they get like some stock in.
They get Grandma Lucy's nightly. So.
Yeah. So you're trying to find a kibble to mix with it. Like I said, I can post kibbles that I like. What I happen to feed and what I like. Top of my list is going to be Open Farm, Honest Kitchen's kibble, From. I would probably put Instinct over the top of From. They have a grain and grain free. Their grain version is really nice. And there's a bunch of other sort of kibbles. And this video will be 3 hours long if I bring it up. But there's a lot of kibbles like sled dog kibbles that depending on the formulation you get that are really nice kibbles. But you have to also accept some of the ingredients that are in there. And it's a blog post I'd like to make talking about some of the ingredients because they're very much, when you look at it, you're going to be like, no, I can't do that. But when I talk to the people of the science behind it, it's very, very interesting. Any other questions? Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and post now or forever hold your peace. I will, who's asking about the kibble?
Kim Sheldon.
Okay, you're in the group. So I'll post a list of kibbles that I like and I'll throw it in there because I'm having like a brain fart right now of everybody. So I'll post that and anything else I may have forgotten. So if you don't have any other questions.
So those are the ones she was thinking about, thanks.
Okay, perfect. I like Open Farm. They do if that's one of the ones you're looking at. Honest Kitchen's kibbles, really good too. So I'll try to get that done today. Any other questions? Feed the poor Walter before he withers away into nothing. All right, so you're in charge. You have to stop it.
Okay.
Can you? All right. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, just ask. I will answer them. Got it?